Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the sixth episode of the ICA Cricket Show. I'm Satish Vishwanathan, proud host of the show brought to you by the Indian Cricketers Association. Later this afternoon, the Virat Kohli-led Indian team will kick off yet another major test series in England to mark the beginning of the second cycle of the World Test Championship. England have not been a happy hunting ground for us. 18 times we visited there to win only thrice, the three great series wins, but totally it's only thrice. But is this a good chance to pull off a series win? Let's find out from our panelists, whom I would like to welcome one by one. Let's start with Suru Nayak, a former Indian cricketer and level 2 coach who went on to become cricket operations manager of the BCCI. Suru is now project head at the picturesque Hometex ICWC Cricket Institute near Mumbai. Great to have you on the show, Suru, and congrats on a lovely setup. I had a look.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next up is Daniel Manohar, a star batsman from Hyderabad who post a successful first-class career. He is now a match referee with the BCCI. Like Suru, Daniel is also into coaching and runs the Phoenix Cricket Academy in Hyderabad. Daniel, I've covered quite a few of your games in Hyderabad. It's a pleasure to have you in our midst.
My pleasure.
Yeah, we are expecting a third guest whom I will introduce as and when he logs in. I think he's having some issues. But let's kick this show off now. Suru, as I said before, we visited England 18 times. You've been part of a tour there too. But we've not been too successful in terms of series wins. How do you rate this particular team and what do you think the chances are?
Well, England has always been a tough place to visit, apart from the West Indies and sometimes Australia, everybody struggles. So we need to take it, as it comes. First two test matches play, very traditionally, I feel. And because the ball moves and so many things happen, the pitches, it doesn't stop moving at all, for the 90 overs. So we need to play very traditionally and very steadily. At the moment, we should not be aggressive for the first two test matches because of the conditions. And we should take this forward after the second test match. That's what I feel.
Daniel, would you like to offer your take on what do you expect from the series?
Let's see. We've been seeing England playing and India playing in the past couple of months. And I think England and India are the best two test sides right now. Though New Zealand is number one on the ranking, but England and India have been playing great cricket of late. We had a very good outing in Australia. The only major factor for the Indian team would be the lack of match practice. See, the last match we played was in the WTC final. That was 1 month back, more than a month back. So I think though they've been practicing hard and the thinking of the Indian cricketers is quite different from what it was in the previous years. But it's always good to have match practice. As Suru sir said, we have to take it slowly in the first test. Start from your session to session, start winning your sessions, and then start winning your innings after innings, and then you go for the kill later.
Yeah, but surprising that this preparation part strangely applies to England too. Suru, you've been on tours which have been long tours, a lot of first-class games, etc., etc. So while India have actually played one first-class game, I was just reading things about England where most of the people haven't played a game. Like people like take the batsmen Joe Root, Oli Pope, and Don Lawrence. They haven't batted in a first-class match since the New Zealand series. June 13th that finished. Butler last played in the Chennai Test, and he went away because of their rotation and etc. Johnny Bairstow, again back in the squad, hasn't played a first-class match since March. And somebody like Sam Curran, guy who had a great impact in the last time we were there with all-round abilities, he hasn't played till England. Last time he played, I think, was in Gaul in January. So they also are not as well prepared as they should have been.
Yes, see, the rotation policy they have got rid of now. It was 6 months ago they had a rotation policy, and they have felt the consequences of that rotation policy. So that rotation policy is over now. In England, everybody plays county cricket or something or the other. So they are in touch with the game.
That's what happened. Suru. They've not this time,
Yeah.
because of this rest and bubble, etc., etc. Their top players are missed. And don't forget, they've got this new 100, which disrupted their county schedule like crazy. So the fact is that normally they'd had the county matches to back on, but they've not had that luxury this time. Maybe that's a chance for us.
See, if you look in that way,
See, everybody wants to copy BCCI. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Suru. I'll come to that.
Carry on, Dan. Carry on.
yeah, you see, if you look in that way,
See, everybody wants to copy BCCI. We have a successful IPL tournament. So everybody wants to do something in their own countries, And, what a general report we have received or got from the stalwarts is it's not caught up. The 100 has not caught up. It's not properly, it's organized properly, but people flock the grounds, but the players are not enjoying it, So it's that way, but they want to start something new. We will give them time to succeed, whereas IPL succeeded in his first year, So yes, the rotation policy and all these things are over, but I thought the scheduling of the Indian, that match as well as later on with all the things happening in England with the ECB, that will take a little toll on our team, I feel, because we had a break of 3 weeks, and nobody, and they were all out of the bio bubble, and they only rejoined last Thursday. So, it might be a little disadvantaged for our team.
Daniel?
I would not totally agree with that, because England, when they played the 2 tests against New Zealand, New Zealand beat them convincingly, actually. So they're not very high on their confidence. And coming into the test match also, even they have not been having a big practice, a test match practice. But the only thing that will help them is the home conditions. So definitely Anderson in England is unplayable most of the time. And Chris Broad, his partner, they have been taking wickets after wickets in England. So, and also I was checking the weather. It's not a great 5 days for the next 5 days. I think there is rain on the second, third day and fourth day also. And that would also not help either team, I would say, especially when it's a rain affected game. When the batsman, even if it's a batsman or a bowler, when you are settled again, when it rains, again you have to go back and come back again you have to settle down. So that will play a huge, I think, impact on both the teams.
Yeah. But Daniel, the other thing is, as you mentioned, Anderson and others, again, a strange fact in the series is the bowling sides, the 2 bowling sides, are the ones which are now totally world class. Yes. Whereas the batting, if you look at it, England seems to be very vulnerable right now.
Yes.
In India, if you go by the statistics until now, in England, I know we've done extremely well in some other parts. In England, Pujara, Kohli, Rahane are 3, because Rohit has hardly played a test match in England. So I'm not counting him in. They average, around 30. I think Kohli is about 33, that too, because he had a great series last time around.
Yes.
Pujara and Rahane around 29. So, basically their combined average is around 30. So, which is again not very inspirational. It's something that we need to be very wary of, isn't it, Daniel?
Yeah, we have to be wary of it, but the new Indian team, I don't think they'll be seeing too much into the averages of the past, because they've been very confident in playing wherever they've been traveling. Even in Australia, we had never had a great series, but they surprised everyone. Every Indian, the cricketing world is surprised by beating them. And also, I think the major factor will be the opening, because Rohit has not played much in England as an opener. So the other opener, we are not sure who's playing. I am assuming KL will be opening, and he has not had much practice off late because of injury and no test matches. So the opening will be a very, very crucial impact on Team India.
Yeah, that actually again is a great point. Suru, this what do you make of this news? I mean, it's not. I have not seen anything coming out of the Indian team management in a press conference or anything as such about them considering KL Rahul as a middle order bat. I mean, from where does this come? As I said, I have not seen anything official, but they have not denied it either. that they're considering KL Rahul in the middle order. I mean, he's always been an opening bat for Karnataka, for India, in all forms. So, what do you make of this particular thing, and who do you think should be the right choice to partner Rohit in today's test?
Don't go by the media because basically media, you know how it is. They want some great stories, and KL Rahul should open, I feel, straight away, because give him some confidence. If we don't have anyone else, let him open the innings. He's the one. He has got very great technique. He's got 100 in the trial in the friendly game.
Yes.
Just a few weeks back, and he should be persistent. He hasn't got a long run rope as the others. Many of them have got. He has consistently proved in the shorter format that he is a good player. His technique is good, playing close to the body. Let him get a chance and let him open the innings. Yes, our team is known to play fearless cricket. But England, we first 2 test matches, we need to be a little cautious and little traditional, I feel. So the top order like Pujara and Virat and Ajinkya, I feel they will have a great series because they are the ones, with great techniques. They have not done well, but they will do well. This is my take on this series. All 3 or 4 of them will do well in this series.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's our great hope that if these 3 guys get together and Rohit gets off to a start, and obviously KL Rahul is an opener with 100. Daniel, he has got 100 in England. So I was also a little surprised to know that he has been considered the middle order bat. And Suru says media. Yes, I know. I was part of the media. So it's not always that make-up stories, but there is. I mean, there's usually no smoke without fire, as they say, or no fire without smoke.
It might be a typical mind game also, where they don't want to see India not announcing the playing 11 itself is playing with the minds of the English
That's a
voters.
new thing, right? They were announcing last few series.
Yes.
They were always doing it.
I think it's a good move by the Indian captain and the coach for not announcing the team, because once you start announcing this team, like the opposition team, they start preparing their plans. So it's always good to just tell the other team before the toss or before half an hour also.
Yeah, I think, Daniel, what's happened is also, if you look at what happened in the World Test Championship, we announced the 11, the match got delayed by a day.
Yeah.
We did, of course, there was every reason for us to have changed the 11. We stuck to the same 11.
Yes.
Here, I think the pictures that have been coming out of Trent Bridge is the grass on the pitch. So, you know how it is. You played enough in India. If you see the day before the game, you see the grass, nobody gives any credence to that because they know in the morning it will be shaved off. So, and England also are vulnerable. We talked about their batting, so they're not very great batting. So I think some of the grass will go off. So maybe that's what also the Indian team is looking for, Daniel, waiting to see how much grass is there before they actually finalizing the level.
Exactly. See, as you said, in India, if you're playing in India, on the day of the match, it's completely different pitch. So I think they're also expecting the same thing, slightly, not totally shaven, but maybe slight cutting of grass, a layer of grass maybe, and then they'll decide. I think more or less they've decided the team and all. Maybe they'll be deciding about their fast bowlers.
Suru, on that note, your thoughts on possible combination? I mean, we know there'll be minimum of 5 batsmen, the wicket keeper. So whether an additional batsman or you have just 4 bowlers, and what the combination of the bowlers? 4 pacers, 1 spinner. What's your thoughts?
As I said at the start of this call, we should play traditional cricket. So Rahul and Rohit opens, number 3 Pujara, number 4 Virat, number 5 Ajinkya, number 6 Rishabh Pant, number 7 Ashwin, Jadeja, and the 3 bowlers. This would be my team.
Oh, so you would put 2 spinners and 3 pacers?
Yes, absolutely.
Because
because Jadeja is a top class all rounder. He will contribute in all 3 fields. So he should be persistent. No point in having another batsman and putting more pressure on Ashwin, because Ashwin is a class bowler. He should get some support from the 3 bowlers. So if Jadeja is also playing, let his little load off from Ashwin's shoulders, I feel.
Daniel, what about a fourth seamer instead of a
I
Jadeja?
think
Or
I think if there is enough grass on the pitch, I think we should go with the fourth seamer rather than Jadeja, because we are not expecting too much from Shardul, but he's been batting really well, so he can contribute a bit in the later order.
and his bowling too. I mean, Suru, you must have
Yes,
seen Shardul a lot. So Shardul's bowling should suit English conditions, right? He's a mover
yes.
of the ball. He seems
Yeah,
very.
as I maintain, I'm a traditional guy. Let us not disturb this till the first two test matches. We will come back, even if something untoward happens, we can come back in the next three. This is my take.
I agree. It's a long series. We don't need to rush.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So I would like to bring you both onto this. The Kohli in his press conference yesterday has actually talked about the fact that they've been much better prepared this time than in the past because they arrived early. And he said that, look, we had a break, but we needed that break. But we're at least getting used to the weather in England, and that plays a huge part, isn't it? Every
Absolutely.
time the sun comes out, the ball doesn't swing, a little bit of cloud. So that's a big issue, isn't it? The fact that we have sort of got used to the weather now. Daniel, you first.
Yeah, see, one important thing is they've been there for the last almost 1.5 month. So that's an added advantage. See, because you have to get used to the conditions. Because normally, most of the time, nowadays we are like well prepared or like going well in advance. But previously, what used to happen is we used to go like few days before the test match, or like
Yeah.
a practice match before, and then we start playing the actual test. So I think conditions wise, everyone is aware of that, and they are. I think most of them are now used to that conditions. So that might also help them to cope up with the cold and the rain and other thing. Even there was a heat wave also a few days back. So I think they have seen that all, and I think they are well equipped, like body conditioning and everything should be fine with them.
Yeah, I mean, that's very true. But Suru, the fact, the I wanted to put your coach's hat on. Virat has made a lovely point of saying that it's a question, a true test is that we must overcome these alien conditions. And what he also means by that is when during the match, when they're put under pressure, he's saying how we deal with those situations is what makes the difference between a win and a loss. And he says over the last few years, that's what we've been doing well. We have reacted well to these high pressure situations within a match. Your views on that?
Yes, Virat is a very honest captain. Let me tell you that. Very honest, and he has inculcated, along with Ravi and Arun and Sridhar, they have inculcated a great value of doing things honestly. I commend them for that. Yes, they have been playing. This team has been playing for the last 3-4 years together, and as we have seen in Australia, how Ajinkya Rahane single-handedly turned that game away after getting all out in 36. So that's what fearless cricket is played. That's how this team is playing. That's how it will. Initially, it will be difficult in England, but later on, I feel if the series doesn't go our way, we will play some great cricket later on. That's my take. Everybody takes the pressure from session to session, and they will do well. This is my take. England struggles in batting. We have a great bowling side. They have a great bowling side. Let's wait and watch. First two test matches, and then we go forward.
Yeah,
I think Satish. I think
Yeah.
this team, they thrive on opportunities, and when that opportunity comes, I think they are ready to take it because they are so mentally prepared and they are like willing to take the onus on themselves. See, the Australian series was the greatest example. We had no players, no fast bowlers. The main fast bowlers were all out injured. But Shardul and the group of fast bowlers, they bowled, and the way they batted also, Washington Sundar, the way he batted, Shardul batted and bowled, it was like, so they are waiting for the opportunity to come, and they are like taking it, grabbing it with both hands. So I think they are even this situation, though we don't have that match practice. I think as Suru sir said, Virat has instilled, the coaches have instilled that confidence and that taking up the opportunity with both hands. And you have to be a winner. See, if you have to be a winner, you have to take that and do it on that day. That is when you become a champion.
Correct.
I mean, I definitely agree with that. One of the other aspects which has actually worried India a lot in the last series, at least, we did compete quite a lot in that particular series. In fact, I think Virat went on record saying that the 4-1 result is not reflective of how the series went. And his argument was valid to a large extent. We did fight, many of those tests. But one thing was, despite, and we had a pretty decent bowling attack then too. But despite that, at least on 3 occasions, we couldn't polish off the England tail. We had them at 87 for 7 in the second innings in the first test they had tested, and I think Sam Curran came in and changed the whole thing. We had them at 86 for 6 in the first inning in Southampton, and again Sam Curran did this thing. This is something that again it happened in the World Test Championship final too. The New Zealand late order put on some very useful runs, which made all the difference in the final outcome. We lost the World Championship. So with this kind of bowling attack, that we should have this kind of performance, right? We should be able to polish off tails. What exactly could be going wrong?
I mean, it's just a game. I feel, things happen during a game, and it didn't happen during those test matches. So just let bygones be bygones. We have learned lessons from those matches, and hopefully, this series somebody will come up and polish off the tail. I feel, so let's wait for some positivity from our bowling side and our batting sides, and I'm very confident that even if you're not done well in the first 2 matches, we'll come back in the next 3. That's my team.
I think Bharat has been working on that polishing of the tail. I think they've been really working hard on that. I think, and never know. We can see that in the series also. It's been a long due. I think polishing of the tail. Generally, what happens is when the tail starts to bat for a long time, the momentum shifts to the opposition side. So I think they've been working on that definitely, because they've been impressing on all departments. So I think even this will be sorted out.
Yeah, but if you look at the bowling combination as such, we have got an abundance this time around. If you look at 3 paces, which would be your 3 paces to start with the first test?
Mine will be Bumrah for sure, Shami for sure. Third one will be a huge decision.
Don't put a Hyderabad act on now.
No, I'm not putting it. That's what I'm not putting my Hyderabad act. I would go for Shardul only because of his batting.
As the third pacer, not even the fourth. The third itself will go for Shardul.
Third one should be Shardul.
So we are looking at no Ishant, no Siraj.
See, going the previous test, I would go with Shardul.
Just for the movement part, batting also. Okay.
Yes.
Suru, your
my take, if we play traditional cricket, we'll play with 3 pacers, and Ishant will be the third pacer. But if you drop Jadeja, then Shardul comes in as the 4th pacer, according to me.
Okay, I don't know. I think it's quite a tough call, which is why I've even put it off, because we do have the example of the World Test Championship, which got over. So perhaps some lessons learned from that. There's a lot of talk on Siraj doing the damage. Unfortunately, he damaged our own opener. Mayank Agarwal was hit by a bouncer by Siraj. But Daniel, I must get you in on Siraj. I mean, the way he's come on, almost from nowhere. I know the India 8 tours was the ones, he really took control. He started showing his prowess. Can you talk us through his career in a sense? I mean, he's reached great heights now.
Yeah, I've seen very little of Shardul in Hyderabad also. But I always felt before he playing for IPL, I always felt he was a good days bowler, multi-days bowler, because he consistently hits the good length and the short of good length area. And initially, when he used to play most of the time T20s or the IPL, that is not his game. Then now he has got the confidence and he's bowling the slower ones and the Yorkers very well. But he was always a good test bowler. And when he got his chances, he really grabbed them with both the hands. And one good thing I've always noticed about him was the way he gives his 100%. I would say more than 100%, because even in the league matches, seen him once in the league match. He was bowling full throttle, like he was like bowling around 140 plus at like throughout the spell. So that's the best part of him. He gives it all. So you can always count on him. But the only point about the third medium pacer, which I said, Shardul, was because of his batting.
Yeah, but that point is the issue is because if you play both Jadeja and Ashwin,
Yes.
you're already batting up to 8 for sure. So Shardul then comes in at 9. Yeah, because I agree, because if you look at one part of it, while we have conceded a lot of runs to the tail, our tail has not contributed enough. So that's there. But I don't know. My point would be that I go with Suru. If we have 3 paces, it should either be Siraj or Ishant for me. And I would write to a plum for Siraj, because I think he's a very exciting talent. We got to unleash somebody new on these English guys. They've seen Ishant, tried and tested. They've seen him a lot, so they'll be more prepared for him, is what I would feel. Suru, there's one other bowler. I mean, I'm really looking forward in this series, uh, provided he keeps fit for all the 5 test matches. Ashwin, he's brought a new dimension to his game, and every series he improves. He's so hungry for this thing. And I'm not even talking about his batting, purely on his bowling. Suru. What stands out in your opinion?
Terrific bowler, terrific world-class bowler, best off spinner in the world at the moment.
Exactly.
He has evolved like anything. He has performed. He has every now and then he has given India breakthroughs, and he has getting so many 5-wicket hauls. Tremendous prospect and terrific. He will last all 5 matches, I feel, because he's got that hunger in him, and he's a thorough professional. See, in his off time in England, he played for Surrey. What more do you want? And he got 5 wickets in that game.
Exactly.
So that's his professionalism, I feel. He will do extremely well, and if he does well, England are in trouble. I'll tell you that. They are in trouble.
I agree. Daniel, have you played against Ashwin any chance?
No, not played against.
Okay, he came later.
Sorry.
But he's been a terrific bowler for us from the last 5 years. I think he's been he's the best bowler, period, I would say, in world cricket. And he knows how to bowl in every condition. Even if the wicket is green, he knows where to pitch the ball. He knows when to bowl that straighter one. And he will be a handful for the English team.
Okay, I'm going to put you both on the mat now. 2 questions to both of you. Suru, you're senior, so you go first. One is, what happens? What do India do if they win the toss? And secondly, we have a new guest panelist coming in. Vijay,
I'm
welcome.
extremely sorry. Some medical emergency at home.
Hi, Vijay.
Hi.
Hi, Vijay.
Hello, sir. How are you? All well?
All right. Yes.
Hi, Daniel.
Hi.
Okay, Vijay Bharadwaj, a good friend. You are the first guest we have from Bangalore, and you have joined us the last.
I'm extremely sorry for that. Never will I do that again. So,
Give him quite a few questions now, since he has missed out.
Yeah. No, Vijay, a couple of things that we were basically discussing on is that, this could be perhaps India's best chance. We have toured England 18 times. We won only 3 series so far. But England themselves are strangely underprepared this time around. A lot of the batsmen are not ready first-class games, for various reasons, bubbles, gibbles, and all that. Somebody like Bairstow, played long back. Butler played in Chennai last. Sam Curran played in Gaul, when England toured Sri Lanka. So it's not just about India having spent a lot of time in England now. It's also England themselves are not very well prepared. So what's your take on the entire thing?
absolutely, I agree with Satish, whatever he's saying. And it's a 5-match series. So there will be a lot of ups and downs. There will be a lot of comebacks as well. But the key is to start off very well. So they have the resources. My only apprehension about this particular Indian team is about the batting lineup, which is not settled yet. And I know the same problem is persisting with the England team as well.
True,
So
we
both
discussed
the
that.
teams have got fantastic bowling attack, superb fast bowling, seam bowling, swing bowling, whatever you call them. But batting needs to be tested here. So it's a big opportunity for Indian team, especially the batsmen who are there. There'll be a lot of focus on Pujara and Rahane, even though Kohli has said asked us to just shut up and then carry on with the
I
game.
know.
So there'll be a lot of focus on these two people, particularly when the ball is moving and the wicket is doing a lot. The onus will be on Pujara and Rahane to push the runs. It's just not about staying at the wicket. It's not Australia or South Africa where you can get away after staying for so long at the wicket. But it's England. You know very well that the more you be positive, there will be one wicket ball which they need to negotiate. But at the same time, the runs on board is so important for our bowlers to bowl at. So my only apprehension about this Indian team is how they're going to cope up with the conditions and then get on top of the England bowlers to score a lot of runs. Otherwise, bowling looks settled. The other issue will be the combination which they're
Yeah, I
going
was
to
going to
be
ask you
going
that.
with. So
What do you think? What do you think the combination should be? Because they're not announced it so far.
that's a good move. They have not announced it, unlike WTC finals where they announced it long time back. So my take will be, I feel we should fit in Shardul Thakur here, who can bat a bit, who can bowl a bit.
As what, Vijay? Third pacer, fourth pacer?
I think he should be the fourth pacer.
So who goes out there? Jadeja?
Ravindra Jadeja goes out. Unfortunately, I'm a big fan of Jadeja, but at the same time, we just cannot fit him at this point of time. We need someone who can bat and bowl also. So fast bowler will definitely be of some help. And I know there's a lot of grass on the wicket, so Jadeja might not fit into this scheme of things. My take on this is will be Ashwin will be the main spinner, and there'll be four fast bowlers who will be going into the game, and there'll be a lot of onus on the batsman to score a lot of runs. Only 6 batsmen are playing, so that's exactly the thing which will be putting a lot of pressure on the batsmen. So it's a catastrophic effect where opening will have to do well, and do well in the sense just not get settled, at the same time make a big score. I haven't seen this batting lineup score under pressure when the ball is seaming a lot. Same thing happened in New Zealand. So it will be a litmus test for the batsman. So opening Rohit Sharma and Rahul, if he opens, if Rahul is allowed to open, I think there will be a lot of pressure on these two.
What's your view on that, Vijay? I mean, as I was telling both Suru and Daniel, we only heard that this particular team management is considering Rahul only as a middle order bat. I've not heard anything official about it, but we have heard these reports coming every now and then. But now, obviously, they're forced to consider him as an opener. So, what's your view on that?
See, Rahul has opened for Karnataka. He's been opening for his state sides, first class sides. And then he has got the experience also of opening. I don't know for what reason people have branded him as a middle order. I know I need to respect the decision of the team management that they want him to be in the middle order. Same thing with Hanuma Vihari. There's a lot of respect for Hanuma Vihari. In fact, the kind of innings he played in Australia, and he is reluctant to open. So at this point of time, Rohit will have to open with KL Rahul. That's the best bet so far, because Mayank is also not there. As a guy who's going to make the first test. So I feel Rahul should open, and then Pujara at number 3, number 4 will be Kohli, number 5 will be Rahane, and number 6 will be Pant. There ends it. And then Ashwin and Shardul Thakur will have to do the rest of the things. The other issue is, for a long time, our bowlers are not able to contribute with the bat. So the tail starts very early. The team combination has taken a hit because Hardik Pandya and others are not there who can definitely contribute. And you know for very well, if Hardik were to be there at number 7, Shardul Thakur wouldn't have found a place, or Ravindra Jadeja wouldn't have found a place. At number 7, Hardik Pandya with bat and ball will be a great asset. Unfortunately, that's not the case. You can't look back.
Yeah, I mean, we got to go with the person that we have. So who would your apart from Shardul, who would the other 3 pacers be, Vijay?
I will go with Mohammad Siraj. Then Shami and Bumrah. Straight away, Shardul Thakur will be the 4th fast bowler who can bat a bit.
So
and
no
then
chance.
Ashwin. Siraj, I think Ishant Sharma, I don't think he should be fitting in right now. So the kind of spells he bowled in WTC, he should have made an impact after playing for 100 test matches. If he's not there, I think you need to look at Mohammad Siraj, who's raring to go. You might ask at least one test you need to be given to Ishant Sharma, but I feel the start will be half the job done. So Mohammad Siraj at this point of time, with a lot of energy bringing into the bowling attack, I would have gone with Mohammad Siraj right now.
Okay, great. As of just before you came in, Vijay, I was going to put people on the mat. We're going to wrap up the show, but I need to ask 2 questions of each of you. We will go with Suru, senior most panelist Yeah. So what do India do if they win the toss? And second question is your India's chances, 60-40, 70-30, or do England are England favorites? Two questions, each of you. Same questions.
Well, to start with, if we win the toss, we field, obviously, because this is not Australia or India, where we can bat first. Got to be aggressive by batting first, but no, not in England. We will take a back seat and bowl first. Yes, even if you do badly in the first two matches, I think we will come back in the next three. This is my take.
But this test, what's India's chances?
With Daniel saying the weather gods are not permitting for the game, I think it might be a draw.
Rarely we see draw these days. But I must on the toss part, one of the best test matches we've had in England is when in completely alien conditions. I think Saurav Ganguly won the toss and we elected to bat, and we changed thing. Daniel, you next. Vijay will have the last word because he came in.
Yeah, I think going with the conditions and the pitch looking green, I think we should bowl first, definitely. And chances of winning, I think it's a 50-50. Like who wins the major sessions, I think they'll be ending up as winners.
Like typical diplomatic Hyderabadi is what I would say.
50-50. Well done, Danny.
If you can't get more than that.
That's
Vijay,
what.
Vijay, the last of the diplomats, as far as I know. The word doesn't apply to him.
No, I feel we should bowl for it. I agree with both the panelists here. If the conditions are good, I think put England into bat and put them on the mat. Straight away pick up a few wickets. So take advantage of the conditions. If it's cloudy and if the ball is seaming around, I think we have got the best bowling attack right now. We've got a lot of options. We have got it's embarrassment of riches, as I say. But if you ask me, the chances are really, as Satish was saying, I would say England has got 60% of winning the chances, the test match, and 40. If India will have to do really well to turn it around.
Okay, I'll put my money, I will say 60-40 India because of the fact that England are sort of underprepared as far as their batting is concerned. I know their bowling is awesome. But the toss part, I would look at what India does with their combination. If they go to two spinners, then I think they should opt to bat first. It's the only way they can exploit the conditions. But yes, otherwise, if they go in with four seamers, it doesn't make sense to, bat first.
But do you think they're going to go with two spinners after the WTC thing?
I've never judged any Indian teams. I've been very experienced as far as their combinations are concerned. I never say anything before the match because they could even announce a test team. Which I've seen captains who handed us a list and then completely made a new thing next day. So we'll wait and see. I think the chances are there because, why they did the WTC thing was they felt that they do not need a fourth seamer. Three seamers will do the job for them, number of overs. With Ashwin, in whatever conditions these days, Ashwin is capable of mastering it. So I think their thought process is that these four will do our job. Jadeja will spell in to stem the tide of runs and etc. But he contributes a lot these days as a batsman. So they consider him a well-rounded, more of a batting all-rounder in test matches in foreign conditions. In India, of course, he'll be a complete all-rounder. And also the immense fielding that Jadeja brings in. It's such a complete package that they find it difficult to leave him out. So the consideration, in my view, is that they will look at Jadeja as a number 7 batsman who can spell these four bowlers. And who are the four bowlers? Our four best bowlers, which is Ashwin has to be one of the four best and any of the three seamers. So that's the reason I feel they could still opt for two spinners because they won't consider Jadeja as a spinner. They will consider somebody who can stem the tide, hold off these three fast bowlers, give them rest while they come back. That's my thought.
I agree. See, the result went against India in the WTC. Otherwise, if I had won those phases, this debate wouldn't have come up. Why you're playing Jadeja? So, actually,
Again, it depends on the pitch also. Like it's a good amount of grass on the pitch. There's no point of playing Jadeja on that.
True.
because Ashwin will be hardly bowling. Even if he's bowling like 10 overs or 10 to 15 overs a day, I don't think any other spinner will be bowling along with him.
Yeah, I agree. I think the pitch is going to make the final call. That's why possibly they're waiting to see how much grass is shaved off, if at all, and things like that. Gentlemen, it's an absolute pleasure having you. I know Vijay, understand why we are late. No issues. We'll have you again on our show. Daniel, pleasure talking to you.
My
Suru,
pleasure.
Suru, as always, very nice getting on a chat with you. The experience that you bring in various roles that you have played. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Thanks again, Vijay. Thank you all.
Thank
And
you,
thanks,
thank you, sir. Thank you,
Ankita,
Danny.
Thank
Ankita,
you.
who put the show together for us. Ankita, thank you. And our audience, thanks for listening in. I hope you enjoyed the show. And let us know the feedback if you have any on the show. And let's go for a great series. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Thank you,
IC.
thank
Thank
you.
you very
Bye.
much.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
Take care.
Hmm. Done. Okay.